Welcome to the MindSpark podcast show with Bianca on Naija Education TV, powered by Bring It On Africa, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Education. Here we talk about education, pressing social issues on the show. Thank you so much. So today we're going to shine a little spotlight on the student loan. I feel like it's something that have been, taking place for quite a while right now. And I observed or I understood that the student loan is specifically designed to help students pay for education and its associated fees. And the student loan access is to, higher education. And it was an act signed by our own president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on the 3rd day of April 2024. And joining me today, we have two beautiful ladies, Mo and Juliet. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me, Bianca.
You're welcome. So today we're going to talk about the student loan. And I want to know, I really want to know what's like the primary scope of this act. What's it aiming at? What's their main aim? What's the primary scope of this act? I really want to know. Juliet, can you help us, please?
Okay, so it's so good to be here in your podcast. And okay, the scope of the loan, I would say that the president brought this initiative just to target at dropout, the amount of dropouts that we have in the country. The student loan, I would say, targets more on the education system and how we have so many dropouts now in Nigeria.
schools,
Because
yes.
when we consider the amount of people that has dropped out from secondary school, we're not just talking about primary school, which is the basic education now. We're talking about secondary school. People that have been able to afford their primary school tuition fee and now have problem with forging. Some people are like, why further? There's no money for
money.
it. And then they just go straight
Straight.
to finding something for life. So I feel this student loan is targeted towards the socio-economic development of youth in Nigeria.
Okay, now youth in Nigeria. So this brings me to ask because, you talked about, there's some people who don't really like school. And there's some people who don't really like, going to the universities is not some
It's like waste of
it's just
time.
waste of time. I could go get a vocational, training to help me out. Is it just for students in schools only, or just for those who need a vocational training?
Okay, so when it comes to, I think this was what made for the reamendment of the loan policy, because when it came out first, that was last year April, people were like, this thing will not work, and then there was a reamendment and people were like, I said it's not going to work. That reamendment was to add skill development. I
Okay.
feel the president took into initiative that some people, Nigerians these days, they wouldn't want to waste time in school, especially for people that have skills already and want to further, train themselves on a basic skill. Now the president has considered them. The initiative now has considered them in the loan initiative, and it now adds people that are not interested in schooling but have skill development. So
Okay.
the initiative is both for students, the bookworms, the academicians, and people that are ready to
Okay,
upgrade their skills.
that's a good one. So if I'm to put it in the collective aspect, it's not just for those people who just want to read book. No. Now, the student loan is for those who wants to go to school, the vocational training, if you have any training you want to do, tailoring, right? Yes, tailoring, shoemaking, any vocational training, this loan applies to you. So, when we create this awareness, when we break it down, at least so they can understand, because some people out there are just thinking, okay, it's just for universities, for polytechnics, for colleges of education. Though yes, it's for colleges of education, for polytechnics, for universities. It also applies to those who would love to, help themselves. Yes, technical schools. Yes, who would love to help themselves. So it applies to that category of people. So now I want to look at the eligibility criteria, which I think we've dived into it a little bit. We've dived into it a little bit, which will make me go prop further to know, when we're talking about loan, I feel like loan is not like a grant. Grant is something
take and
don't give back to me. Now here it's a loan. Which implies that you take it and you bring it back.
But this time around, interest free.
Okay, this time around, interest free. So when is this loan supposed to be repaid? Is there any, or maybe we should just be, anytime you get it, you just pay. Maybe even if it's 10 years, 20 years. Is there any time for a repay, or just?
Yeah, there's time for it.
Okay, so Mo, what do you have to say concerning this? So when exactly is the repay?
Yeah, the repay is actually 2 years after your NYSC.
2 years?
Yeah,
after NYSC.
But that brings me to another question.
Okay.
But I see it as a problem in a country where to even see job,
It's problem.
So, and you have to pay. You have to start paying, because according to my research, you have to submit, I think there are some documents you have to fill that will be linked to your salary account.
Okay.
They have to be
Deducting the loan.
Now, if I don't get a job after, what is going to happen to me?
That's another
another
problem.
Yes.
That's like another problem, because I've seen so many people who after NYSC are still hunting.
Like 2 years.
2 years, 10 years, some people 5 years. This is what is happening. 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. You see someone still job hunting.
I will not go to prison.
Yeah. Okay.
So when this was part of the thing that brought mixed reaction when people first heard about the policy, they were like, some people were like, I'm so glad I voted Tinubu. And then some people were like, this is just a scam. After 2 years, what's the guarantee that, I have a job? And while, some people would not, like she said, if I can't be able to pay, because they said it's pardonable if, the person dies.
Yes.
But now, if you're still alive and 2 years after that, you're not able to pay, does that now make me a government property? Because definitely you're owing the government. So that whole thing now is now making the whole, should I say the blessing look like a curse?
Oh gosh. Wow. That's a big one. That's really a big one. So, okay. Let's probe further though. So how can one access? We'll be talking about this loan, this student loan. So I really want to know how one can access this loan. Is there a form to fill? Are we going to the Ministry of Education to fill a form? Is there anything? How do we gain access to this loan? How do we gain access to it? Can you help us, please, Miss Juliet?
Okay, when it comes to assessing the loan, Nigerians, we like a woof.
Very much.
So
Hello, Naija.
So anything that they hear, loan or grant, they just want to jump into it. So immediately this loan was, publicized. People were like, they went straight to the website. They were trying to, access it. And then when they couldn't, they were like, this thing has scam. But now, the government have been able to bring up a board, which is called Nigerian Education Loan Fund.
Okay.
And now this is now serving as #educational bank, I would put it, because we're still getting there. As a country, we should be able to get or have a educational bank where people can access funds for their education and then get loan and then be able to pay back. Now this board is now serving as a bank. Now the board works with the institution. That's what people are not aware of. That's why they immediately they saw the link. They were like, I'm going to log in and then get the loan.
Yeah.
You have to be on your institution portal. Which has been submitted to Nel Fund. Yeah. So if your name is not, let's say you graduated 5 years ago and then you're trying to get student loan just for it's not going to, or you're a dropout, like you've given up on education, but because you had loan, you want to like come back, and then your name is not on the portal. So you have to work with the institution which you are schooling in, and then the institution would now submit your name through the student verification portal. They call it SVP, right? Student verification portal. And now, when you're done with all this stress,
my God,
we now come to being eligible for the loan, which has to be, I heard your parents have to be civil servants, and then you have
your parents.
No.
Like both parents.
I'm not sure, but I know of the fact that you need two guarantors.
Okay.
Of which one must be a civil servant of
Really?
level 12.
Okay, let's sorry to cut you short. Please, we're going to take a commercial break now. And we're coming back to the show right after the commercial break. Remember, this is the MindSpark podcast show with Bianca. See you later.
Hey Nigerians, are you ready to embark on an educational journey like no other? To expand your horizon, ignite your curiosity, and unleash your full potential beyond classroom? Welcome to Naija Educational TV.
Wait, what is this all about?
Naija Educational TV is not just a channel. It's an initiative brought to you by Bringing On Africa in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Education, with a mission to provide inclusive and equitable quality education for all. Whether you're a student looking to enhance your learning or a parent concerned with what your ward watch, Naija Educational TV got you covered.
Dive into our fascinating shows like live debate, quiz, documentaries, and lots more, all aligned with the UNESCO agenda.
So why wait? Tune in to Naija Educational TV today by subscribing to our YouTube channel and follow us on all our social media platforms to be entertained.
Okay, so welcome back to the show. Remember, this is the MindSpark podcast show with Bianca, where we talk about pressing social issues, education, and of course, lifestyle and documentaries. So this is one of a kind. Here we're talking about the student loan. If you're just joining us right now, we're talking about the student loan. Maybe someone out there wants to be a partaker of the student loan and do not really know how or when it's taking place and all. And we are here to enlighten people more about the loan and whatever educational needs, stories, and all you need to know. Just tune into Naija Education TV, powered by Bring It On Africa, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Education. Thank you so much. So back to what we were saying. So more, you were saying something concerning the how to, assess this loan, or you were saying something about the requirements, for assessing the loan, and you were talking about someone bringing two guarantors.
Yeah,
Okay.
one
One
of the requirements.
of the requirements.
You need two guarantors, that's a civil servant
Okay.
of a level 12, and then a judicial worker, a lawyer.
Wait.
That has experience of 10 years.
10
Yes, in
What?
office.
This is
And
serious.
this also brings me to another
She's always coming back to the
concerning
issue.
the loan. Is a problem, because even
Yeah.
if you get a job, you hardly see someone that will stand in for you.
Yeah.
And now and then they are bringing up this
Wait, I want
How
to
will you say
understand
a lawyer?
something.
I mean, some people can get these people, but some can't.
Can't. Yes, I was saying something about eligibility. So I was like, the requirements. I was even thinking it's requirement, but now she said one of the requirements.
Yeah.
Then she didn't stop there. I will have to bring a lawyer, not just a lawyer. Now must be 10 years
Yes.
into. Come
And
on.
another issue is how many Nigerians have parents that or guarantors that are civil servants. What if I have nobody, no family member in the civil service?
What about those who don't have parents?
Oh,
And they want to go to school.
And they want to go
They are
to school.
training themselves, striving so hard.
So hard.
I think this is a
I feel
limitation.
I feel like this is some of the thing people when you bring this to someone who don't even have and you and the person is
Make the laws flexible.
flexible. Thank you.
Flexible.
You have to make it flexible so that people can at least
Access it
access
easily.
it easily. Because it's just like, okay, I want to give you 1 million naira. Bring $10 million.
That's like exchange.
Exchange. You know, that is what it's looking like. It's not like looking. If you want to help, help.
Yeah.
If you don't want to help, don't worry. Leave it that way. Because only when I come, imagine you come to someone and you're like, have you heard about student loan? And the person, I've raised the person's spirit. Then at the long run, okay, so when you need a lawyer.
And then
And it's okay, I have a lawyer. He must be 10 years. But my own lawyer is
I just have a friend
just have a
who
friend
was called to bar.
you know?
I cannot just pick one charge and be lawyer.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's impossible. Now, not just there. You talked about the civil
Service.
Yes.
Level 12.
Level 12.
So that's like the
And
limitation.
also, I also want to know this loan thing. Is the government, have they started disbursing the money? If they have, because me, I've not heard of anyone that have benefited.
Yes, I think.
Or do you know someone who knows someone?
Someone or
No,
someone
the loan hasn't been disbursed yet, because
okay.
they are still working with the SVP,
okay.
the Student Verification Portal,
Portal.
so that people don't just come take the loan and then next 2 years when you're done with your service, they are looking for you. The police is searching you, wanted.
I know that is definitely going to happen.
Yeah,
Of course.
I think that's why they're like
delaying
delaying.
it. But is there any date? Like, okay, this is the date when this loan is supposed to come. Is there any date? Like, have you heard about any date?
They said I think we should be expecting it June ending
Or July.
June to July. I heard
Okay.
June to July. So June to July we should
Wow.
be all active to receive
The
loans
loan
that we should pay back 2 years after.
NYS.
NYC.
Wow.
And I hope the government will really follow up this thing. Not that they are giving each student 1 million and then they,
Yeah,
cut
the
it
student
and then they are
will-
giving the students 500,000 and then in the system is 1 million naira. They give you 500,000. 2 years later, you are paying 1 million naira.
Yeah.
But I think that's another.
I think that's why
That's
no
another
fund
point.
comes
The government
in.
really needs to.
Okay.
Our president.
So
they really
I feel
need
like
to follow
yes,
this
they need to
up
follow
and-
it up.
Yes.
I feel like and it's being managed by
No fund.
Nel Fund,
That's
right?
Nigerian Educational Fund.
Yes, I think the board of directors, the board managers, they should be strong. Well, maybe that's why they are bringing in lawyers, but please, on the long run, government should please make it at least flexible for the common man, please. The government wants to help, right? So at least the government should make it flexible so that at least a huge number of people can partake.
On
of
the
this law.
contrary, anyway, it's just my own thinking. I even feel if the government can reduce school fees safe.
That's another.
Before, our forefathers the education was free.
Free.
If they can do that, so
That's the best. I'm telling you.
But
that's
now,
the best.
but now,
Anyway.
it's the best. If we look at it from that angle, it's the best. But what will happen to the teachers who pay them? How will they get
Government
paid?
will
The government will pay
Where
them.
will the government get the money?
They are capable.
They are capable.
Oh my God. So like, are there any challenges? Like, are there any challenges or limitations to associated with this implementation? Do you see any, future challenge?
Speaking of future challenge, I would come in with this. You know, the last administration, that was the Buhari administration, where people said, oh, we've seen Shege, we've seen red, we've seen blue.
Yeah.
The last administration called the Nigerian youth lazy Nigerian youth. While this administration is coming in with initiatives to support, to help develop and grow the youth, the Nigerian youth. Now, what will happen to the next administration if this administration would not be able to continue? You know, that's one thing with Nigeria. We pick an agenda or a policy, a law, and then once this administration is done, it's all dusted, it's all covered, thrown into the bin. The next administration comes up with a new whole agenda. And when that's why we are not able to bring up sustainable development growth in Nigeria. Everybody wants to.
I'm in the office. I want to do this.
my
This is my own thing.
Yeah.
And
And
either they are paying the loan or they will kukuma scrap it.
let's just hope and see that the loan actually happens before they start scraping or scrapping anything, you know. But I would say, on the long run, would the government be able to sustain this? For how many students, how many youth are we talking about? Because now it's not just about the education loan, it's about the skill development. How many Nigerians would they be able to loan? And how many Nigerians are willing to pay back or would pay back?
That's another. You see, that's one. You see, I feel like that's where they nail for. But I feel like they are still debating on this because, you know, so many things are ongoing. And I presume they must have thought about this and they are coming up with a plan.
Yeah.
Because for sure, you can't bring out something without
A structure.
So I feel like, they're coming up with a plan. Let's hope so. But for now, we all know there is a student loan ongoing. And you need to visit the website to apply. And you need to be eligible for that loan. If you are not eligible and you go there, it won't be given to you. More especially when it comes to the 10 years lawyers experience aspect. I'm just so disturbed about that aspect. I don't know why, because I'm just trying to, put some people in my shoes and how will I get a lawyer for 10 years, civil servant, all those things. So I just feel like the government should at least make it flexible enough for many people to access it. So here we are just coming. It's a wrap up. We are wrapping up the show. Is there any other thing you have to say concerning this loan? Any final, this is like your final saying. Do you have any other thing to say, Juliet or more, concerning the loan?
What I want to say is that if the government wants to give the student loan, just like you say, they should make the procedure very flexible.
Okay.
I mean, there are other means that they can track. You can. The government cannot tell me that they don't have any other means to track down their
record.
Yes. So we don't need to start looking for a lawyer that have experience of 10 years in office and all of that. So if they want to do that, then the government should try as much as possible, to follow up this loan thing, so that it won't be the issue of we will now be seeing figure online. Nobody
imaginary,
we spent billions of naira, the way they used to put it, breaking news, billions of this, and then nobody, nobody, and it's because according to research, this loan is meant for for the few, for the less privileged.
Yes.
Because there is even a criteria that they need the amount your parents earn annually.
Yes.
So it must not be more than 500,000.
Okay.
Those are the people that have access to it. So I believe it's for the common man.
Okay.
So you understand. So if they are doing that, they should please make it flexible and then follow it up when they start releasing this money, so that the main purpose of it will be yes. So that's just my take.
Please, the government should please follow it up. Please, Juliet, do you have any other thing to say final?
Okay, my final words would be that we ask for a better government, we ask for development and sustainability in Nigeria, and then it's here. But is it actually functioning? So I would just say, I would put it this way: is the loan free?
Is the loan free? Like I said earlier on, it's a loan. And
You have to pay
you
back.
have to pay back. If it's a grant, that's on its own. But this is a loan. And I understood that loan is when you go to loans, collect money from someone, you pay back. So
The only
definitely
advantage there is just that there's no interest.
Yeah,
no
that's-
interest.
that's
Yes,
the-
that's
yeah,
just the
that's
advantage. So you pay back.
After 2 years
Okay.
of NYC.
Okay. Okay. So thank you so much for I'm so glad to have you here on this show, the MindSpark podcast with Bianca. Thank you so much. And please do not forget, this is Naija Education TV, powered by Bring It On Africa in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Education. So we are going to release more and more about education and content, and it's going to air here. So just get connected, and thank you all for watching. See you another time.
Bye.